Welcome back to The Hungry Guy, everybody. Today we're going to be working on a very delicious chili. In this recipe, you're going to have a quarter cup of chili powder, and I've also added a teaspoon of chipotle powder for heat. There's 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of oregano, 2 tablespoons of cumin, 5 cloves of garlic, and you can add or subtract garlic as you like, however you like garlic. We have 3/4 cup of tomato paste. Now this is tomato paste that I made from tomatoes that I pureed and then cooked them down into my own tomato paste because I don't like canned tomato paste. The same thing with the tomatoes, and we're going to blanch these. And we're going to chop these up and peel them, and I'll show that later. But this is 2 pounds of tomatoes. We have 2.5 pounds of 73% lean. I like to use less lean burger in my chili. I just think it's a little more flavorful. We're going to cut up a whole onion, and these are Anaheim peppers. We're going to cut up 3 Anaheim peppers for this recipe. And last but not least, we have a bay leaf that we're going to be throwing in there. So we're going to blanch these tomatoes. I just wanted to show you that right quick. You see I've got a 4-quart pot of water here. It's about 3/4 full. I'm just going to place these tomatoes right in here. Be really careful because it's really hot. Now, like I said, this is 2 pounds of tomatoes. Ouch. I stuck my finger in the water. So we're going to blanch these just for a little while. And what you're looking for is the skin's going to start splitting on these. And don't worry about whether you're cooking them too much, but make sure you also have a bowl of ice water. You can see I have an ice bath here. So as I peel the skins off of these, I'm going to start dunking them in this ice bath to stop them from cooking anymore before I dice them. And then once we have these blanched, we're going to move on to dicing the onion and dicing the garlic and chilies. So you can see the skin's peeling off the tomato, and it'll just come right off. Now you got to be careful because this is hot, don't get me wrong, and there's water in there, but you see that only took a few seconds. Whoop. You just peel this off, as you can see I'm doing. Trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. And then now I've got the skin off, boom, right in the ice bath. Now moving on to our onion. Just gonna give this a quick dice. People have many different ways that they like to cut their onion. Me, this is just the way I do it. I've never been trained to do this. This is just what I do. Move on to mincing our garlic. I like my chili a little chunky anyway, so as you can see we have our tomatoes cooling down. Now we're going to move on to our tomatoes. Remember we had these soaking in this cold bath, ice bath. We're just going to dice these. You can dice them however you want. And I like to take the seeds out of my tomatoes, so I'll just kind of squish them out of there. And again, like I said, you can save all this stuff for a stock pot. Okay, moving on to our chilies. Again, these are Anaheim chilies. For the recipe, it's like 1 6-ounce can or something like that of green chili. That's what this is. This is what would be in that can. And so I like to use fresh stuff. So I'm going to. So I just like to cut it open. I like to take the seeds out. Again, this is preference. You don't have to take the seeds out. You can just go whacking through this thing and cut it up. These are not spicy peppers. They're very good peppers. Might have a little heat in them, but if they do, it's great. But this is what you would find in those cans of green chilies. And by the way, if I cut this way, this skin is tough. It's tougher to cut this way. So what I like to do is I like to flatten it out, and I cut them this way because the knife just goes right through. So I've heated up a little bit of olive oil. This is probably, I didn't measure, so it's probably about a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil, and maybe a teaspoon or so of butter, because that's just the way I like to do my stuff. But I'm going to add the onion in. We're going to saute this for about 5 minutes until it's translucent. Alright, so our onions have, sauteed for 5 minutes. We're ready to add the garlic. We'll put the garlic in here, and we're going to let that cook for about a minute. We're going to stir this around, let that become a little flavorful there. Bring out the goodness, sweetness, and all that stuff. This is looking great. And next we'll add the beef. So now that this is ready, we're just going to add in our hamburgers. Again, this is 2.5 pounds of hamburger meat. I'm just going to toss it in, and then I'll start chopping it up in there. And this is going to make a lot of juice in here. You can drain some of it off. I usually do. I take some of it off. I don't really take all of it off because, again, there's a lot of flavor in there. And we're just going to brown this hamburger with the onion and the garlic. Okay, so our hamburger is brown and it's ready to go. I've drained a little bit of the water off. So I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to transfer this to our crock pot. Now that we have our meat and our onion and all that in here, we're going to drop that in our crock pot. We're going to turn our crock pot on. Now we're going to add all of our spices and vegetables and stuff. one last little bit. Our cutesy little leaf. Bayleaf. Boop. We're gonna put him in there. We're gonna turn this on high. We're gonna cover it. And this is gonna sit for 3 hours. It's gonna cook for 3 hours. And we'll be back in 3 hours. Okay, everybody. It's been 3 hours in the crock pot. We can turn that off. It's here. You can unplug it. As you can see, this is cooked down really nice. A really nice chili. There is the bay leaf. You don't want to eat that. You want to pull that out. So let's get the bay leaf out. We'll just plate some of this. Put a little bit in our bowl. This is white cheddar cheese. Put a little bit of cheese. Some green onion. And there you have it. Delicious, wonderful chili. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. Thanks again for watching. If you want to help us out, like and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, more recipes. But I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you later. Stay hungry, my friends.